Hey everyone, today we're going to be taking a look at the Atlas Laptop Backpack from Level 8. I previously featured a variety of the company's rolling carry-on luggages, and I've had really great experiences with those, so I was excited when I saw that they also had this pretty interesting looking tech backpack that could work well as a companion to their luggages, but also as just a really solid standalone laptop bag. And so I've had a chance to test it out for the past couple of weeks, and in this video I'm going to be talking about what it's been like to use it. I'll show you how I've loaded it out, walk through all the features, and I'll also talk about how it compares to some of the other similar bags that are currently on the market. Before jumping into the video, if you're new here, welcome. My name is Danny, and on this channel we love reviewing popular travel and everyday carry gear. If you like these types of videos and you'd be interested in seeing more, please consider subscribing, as it helps the channel out a lot. So with all that being said, let's go ahead and jump in. Starting off with the overall aesthetic, to me this definitely reminded me of some of the classic laptop backpacks from companies like Swissgear and OGIO that I always associated with, kind of IT professionals, traveling consultants, people who tended to be on the road for work quite a bit. It still has that sort of silhouette, so it's not necessarily the most modern looking bag, but it does feel a little bit sleeker, like the styling has been updated from those type of bags, and it's something that I would be comfortable taking into a more professional setting, and that I think would still work for just general travel, exploring a city, or even something that students can use. As far as the materials, the bag feels pretty solidly built. According to the company's site, this exterior fabric is a 1680D ballistic polyester that feels like it's going to hold up pretty well to rougher usage and provide a decent amount of weather resistance. I like that the fabric isn't super rigid, so it'll kind of mold around the items that are on the inside. You have some ability to compress it down if you need to squeeze it under kind of a tighter seat in front of you on a flight. And then you have some really smooth working and reliable zippers. So far they've worked very well. I haven't been able to find the branding on them. They don't say YKK on them, so I'm not sure if that's the zipper that's included. Regardless, so far they felt good. They have the reverse coil zippers on some of the compartments to give you a little bit of additional protection. And then continuing along the exterior, on the front of the bag, you have the Level 8 logo right here at the center. It stands out a little bit against the black background, but it's not an overwhelmingly big logo, which is nice. And then at the top of the bag, you have this really reinforced and rugged handle that's got this really tactile grip here. It feels kind of like a plastic or a PVC of some sort. And then underneath you have this really intense sort of wire here. So this definitely doesn't feel like a handle that's going to be breaking in any way. And just gives you a nice amount of comfort. It comes up a good amount so you can pick it up off the ground easily. You have a secondary handle as well that's closer to the shoulder straps that will allow you to maybe hang the bag up if you need to. And then the bag doesn't have traditional water bottle pockets per se, but it does have these zippered pockets that have a gusset here that will allow you to store a water bottle if you want to. So here I have my 20-ounce water bottle that I tend to carry with me, and when the bag is packed out, I was just able to kind of squeeze that in there. It feels like there's leftover space here, but it does start to share volume, so anything bulkier, if you have the compartment packed, it'll probably start to be pretty tight, but you can see about how far this comes down. And it gets the job done. I'm able to store this. I can't zip the compartment up, but I can access my water when I need to. Smaller umbrella will fit there. And I'm always a fan of these pockets that actually zip shut so that I could use them to hold other accessories. So on the other side, I'm actually using it to store my laptop charger, the cable, and the brick, because it provides that option. But here you have the same sort of setup where you could potentially use this to hold something like a water bottle or an umbrella. And then the last thing that I'll mention while we're talking about the exterior is that the bag does manage to stand up pretty well on its own, especially when it's a little more packed out and everything is well distributed. I've been able to place this down comfortably next to me as I've been testing it out and have easy access to the zippers when I need to. As far as the capacity, the listed volume for the bag is about 31 liters. To me, this didn't feel quite as big as some of the other 30 and 31 liter bags that I've tested out. I know that calculating volume across brands can be pretty tricky, and I'm guessing that that volume is distributed across all the different compartments this has. So if you really pack each section out, it could potentially get close to that, but to me it just felt closer to a 26 to 28 liter bag. So still a good kind of larger EDC backpack. It was definitely able to hold all the items that I normally like to carry with me. It feels like it would have enough space even for a little bit of a longer day This is a bag that's going to get fairly bulky if you pack all the different compartments out to their capacity, so it'll start to stick out a little bit. It's not going to have the slimmest profile, so that's something that you'll want to keep in mind if you're going to be jumping onto any public transit or navigating any crowded cities. And I think that it'll still work well for carrying on to many domestic airlines in particular that have looser allowances with their personal items. If this is really packed out, I could see it being a little bit of a tighter fit under a seat in front of you on a plane, but still something that could definitely fit into an overhead storage compartment really easily. Taking a look at the harness system, so far the bag has been really comfortable to wear. This is definitely the type of harness that I tend to gravitate towards, so I really like the padding that's been included here on the straps. Really soft and comfortable. On the inside you have some mesh to help provide breathability, and then the straps have a good width to help prevent the bag from digging into your shoulders when it's a little bit more packed out. There's also this nice curvature here in the shoulder area, so that's just fit really nicely. No load lifters on this one, which I didn't mind at all. And then one thing I did notice is that the padding here, this breathable soft padding, didn't extend all the way to the top, which might have been nice to just give you that extra bit of cushioning. And then on the straps you also have some webbing that's going to be a good spot to clip on additional accessories, or potentially add a sternum strap, which wasn't included with the bag. And then if you need to adjust the straps, they have these nice rings at the bottom that'll make it really easy to pull if you want to tighten them. And then as far as the back panel, this has also felt really comfortable. Similar type of padding to what we saw on the straps, maybe even a little bit more robust, which is great to see. Very easy to wear this over a longer period of time with the padding and breathability that's included here with the mesh. And then there's also a good amount of elevation to create this deep air channel to provide ventilation while you're walking around throughout the day. And then at the bottom you also have a luggage pass through here that's going to allow you to rest this on a suitcase while traveling to save some weight on your back. Jumping into the organizational options, the bag has a nice variety of pockets all throughout. We already took a look at the two side external zippered pockets, so moving up to the top, you have a really great quick access pocket. I'm always a fan of this style just because of the space that it provides. This was easily able to handle my sunglasses, a charging cable with the wall block, and I also have my AirPods in here. Even with those items in the pocket, there was still some leftover capacity. No other internal organization here, but just really love the amount of space and the ease of access to this one. And then in front of that, there is a larger zippered admin compartment that does have a pretty good height, so it extends down to pretty much the bottom of the bag, so you can use it to store pouches or other bulkier items, maybe a jacket, gloves, a hat. At the moment, I'm just using this section here to hold my alpaca admin pouch, but really like having that extra bit of space, particularly for travel. And then you have some organization on the back, a couple of small pockets for something like a pen. I also have a flashlight here. And then next to that, there's a slightly larger pocket with this little flap to keep whatever's in there in place. It's got a little bit of extra volume. At the moment, I have my Apple Magic Mouse in there. And then next to that, you have one more, a mesh elastic kind of slip pocket. Definitely a good spot for maybe something like a portable battery, portable hard drive. At the moment, I just have my nail clipper set. And then behind that, you have an additional zippered compartment for anything smaller and flatter that you don't want floating around. The only thing I have here at the moment is a Field Notes notebook, but also a good spot for some extra cash, passport, IDs. And then on the back of the bag, there is a dedicated laptop compartment. It has a zipper that goes all the way down, allowing it to open flat. It has, the little airplane here to signify that it's checkpoint friendly. As I've mentioned in other videos, this isn't something that I ever rely on. I always feel like I have to take my laptop out of the sleeve and put it in the bin anyway, so I don't use this feature too much, but it hasn't impacted my use of the bag either. And so really nice padding in this laptop sleeve. It isn't suspended off the bottom of the ground per se, which I would have liked to have had maybe just a little bit of a false bottom, but the bottom section does have padding for your device, so there is some protection. And then the sleeve itself has this Velcro strap here to help keep the device in place. And then I really love the EVA foam padding that's been included here. You can see that it's really, just kind of protective, cushioned. And so this is going to be able to handle a 15 or 16 inch laptop pretty comfortably. Currently what I have here is my 14-inch MacBook Pro. You can see there's plenty of leftover space here at the top. And so pulling my device out, now with the compartment empty, you can get a better look at the inside. Good padding on both sides of the compartment, and it does come up a decent amount, so if you happen to have a thicker device, it should be able to fit in here comfortably. And so even though it's not pulled up off the bottom of the ground as I typically prefer, with the amount of padding that's included here and throughout the whole compartment, it really feels like my device is going to be well protected while I'm on the road. And then the last thing I'll mention while we're in this laptop section is that on the other side of the compartment, you do have a simple slip pocket that you can use to separate out maybe some documents, folders, a tablet, just keep it separate from the laptop itself. And then if you don't want to use it, it just kind of stays out of the way. And then the last area that we're going to be taking a look at is the main compartment. This is a top loading compartment, so the zippers don't go all the way down, but you still can open the compartment up to get a good amount of visibility. In this area, I have kind of my typical everyday carry loadout, and because of the layout here, it does feel like it offers enough volume to be able to handle some bulkier accessories. There's still a little bit of leftover space here at the top, so I probably could have squeezed in one additional piece. And so at the moment, I have here my Beats Studio wireless headphones. I have the Evergood Civic Access pouch, 1 liter. Then below that, at the bottom, I have the Civic Access pouch, 2 liters. Both of those fit in there easily. And then the last thing I have in here at the moment is my Level 8 portable standing desk. Now with the compartment empty, you can get a better look at the inside. The dark lining definitely makes it tricky to see down into the bottom of the bag, so maybe something a little lighter with higher contrast would have been a good addition. And then I like that the bag comes up a decent amount in this area. This would allow me to use it for minimal travel if I wanted to toss in my packing cube, a dot kit, and an extra pair of shoes. And then an interesting thing here at the bottom, I don't know if you can see that, it's got this adjustable divider, which you can put down to give the bag a little bit more support and structure. That's what kind of helps it stand up well on its own, but you can collapse that if you want the bag to not have as much of a shape, or maybe if you want to store it. So that's a nice addition there. And then on the back of this compartment, you have an additional padded sleeve, which would be a good spot for a tablet. And you got a little Velcro strap here to help keep it in place. And on the front of the compartment, you have an additional mesh zippered pocket, which is pretty deep, but I didn't end up using that just because all my stuff was in pouches and I didn't want to create, any bulges or, shared space here. So that kind of just stays out of the way if you don't want to use it. So really like the amount of space and the simple layout that's offered in this main area, and just the layout throughout the rest of the bag. Really functional. Nice variety of pockets, and I can see why this style of bag has been pretty popular over the years if you have to carry a lot of stuff and you want to find it easily. So if you're in the market for a backpack that's going to keep all of your tech protected, accessible, and that's going to be comfortable to wear for long days on the road, then this is going to be a really great option to take a look at. And so to wrap up, it's been a pretty great experience testing out the Atlas Laptop Backpack over the past couple of weeks. You can currently purchase this on the company's site for around $130, which is definitely a bit of an investment. I would have liked to have seen the price point maybe a little bit lower, especially considering that the brand isn't as well known for their backpacks per se. In this range, it starts to compete with some of the really well-known brands in the backpack category, but it does feel like you get a lot of value for that price as far as the features and the build quality, and on those points, it does feel like it's going to compare well against some of the other similar bags in this price range. And so as I was testing this out, the first bag this made me think of is the Timbuktu Authority Pack, which is one of my favorite kind of business traveler backpacks. Really sleek, techie vibe, very good build quality. It's got a super comfortable harness system, luggage pass-through, external water bottle pocket, really nice organizational layout, good laptop protection. So checking off a lot of the same boxes as this one here. The aesthetic on that one is just gonna be a little bit cleaner and more modern. And if you're looking for something that's not gonna be a lot more expensive than this and that's gonna offer many similar benefits, and that's gonna be a great option to take a look at. Another bag this made me think of is the North Face Surge Backpack, which aesthetically doesn't necessarily look the same, but it does come in a pretty similar size range, and it's just a really functional bag. On the laptop front, it offers some of the best laptop protection of any bag. It's got a really comfortable harness system, a great organizational layout, just lots of useful pocketing, dual external water bottle pockets. It stands up pretty well on its own. It's got a little bit more of an outdoorsy or functional layout, but the Surge in particular is one of the bags that's a little bit more streamlined from the North Face's line. So if you don't mind that sort of an aesthetic and you just want something really solid and versatile, then that's gonna be a great option to take a look at. And then if you have a little bit of a higher budget, the last option that I'll mention here is the Air Tech Pack 3, which I would say is kind of the premium version of this bag. It's got Air's typical really sleek modern style, super great build quality that's offered in ballistic nylon and X-Pack fabric, really comfortable harness system, luggage pass-through, great organization for your tech and other essentials, really good laptop protection, stands up very well on its own. So it's just got kind of the same sort of a vibe, but maybe a little bit more modern and stylish. And if you're looking for something that's gonna offer an extra solid build quality, the same sort of functionality as this, and you have the budget for it, and that's gonna be a fantastic option to keep in mind. With that being said, the Atlas Laptop Backpack holds up pretty well against all those options and is a surprisingly versatile addition to Level 8's lineup of travel gear. And if you're looking for a tech-focused bag that's gonna offer plenty of comfort and organization for everything while you're on a trip, then this is gonna be a great option to take a look at. And I'm definitely curious to hear what you all think of the Atlas Laptop Backpack and how it compares to some of the other popular work and tech bags that are currently on the market. And if there's any similar options that you think that I should check out, as always, please let me know in the comments. And I want to thank the company for sending the bag for me to test out, and to you guys for watching and supporting the channel. If you enjoyed this video, please give us a like, and if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss any upcoming videos, and we'll see you in the next one.